Low-vibe. Hi, I'm Ray of Sunshining. I'm so excited that you're here with me today.
Glad you're with me today.
And I am delighted that you're here with me today. I am also amazing, and so are you. So we'll be talking about low vibe and, of course, high vibe. That's how that works. So, you know, if you were with me in the I think it was the previous video,
Maybe in the 1 through 6 video collection.
well, there's enough illumination for everyone. Video just to this one, or it could have been the one before that, but just in one of my very recent videos, I was out in the woods there, and there were some lady slippers, you know, those beautiful pink flowers, and so I had a little bit of a pink theme going on. You know, as you can see, I liked that so much that I'm in the blue theme, which I thought was looking pretty dashing. Love and be loved. That's the entire U instruction manual.
Did you hear my story about bunny rabbits? It's back there in one of those earlier,
So
maybe
welcome to my program and my blue theme.
These little bunny rabbits came into the possession of my granddaughters last spring, and they were little. And now they're not so little. But it's
so all you need to do is go back to some of those earlier videos, and I know you're going to say, well, of course you're going to say go back to some of those earlier videos because they're your videos and you want us to watch them. Yeah, not for me. For you. It's all there for you from the bottom of my heart.
Anyway, it took all this time to get an appointment to have them fixed. That's what's happening right now. They're being fixed because, well, you know how the bunny rabbits are, right?
You know, I think it was, actually I'm pretty sure it was the
replicate.
The video prior to this one, because now we're in let me see, HIJKLM. We're in the M's, M2 right now, okay. Right?
I was thinking about the bunny rabbits because it's exactly the same way that my whole video series is designed.
Oh, right? So M1 is when I introduced this new format of using the oracle cards. And what I did there was I had picked a oracle card before the program started, and it was already, you know, pre-decided. And,
my whole video series is designed and inclined to replicate. Hey, did somebody send you this video?
This is a deck that was made. This is called the Chosen Ones 144, and it's created by Magi, the High Priestess. Anyway, I'll tell you a little bit more. We're going to get to those a little bit later on because I changed the format. And that, you know, since my program is a metaphor for life, that fits in just perfectly. This section, and you can see I'm all bright and cheery. I got some two-tone stuff going on still. Transforming into the I am, figuring out who I am. So I changed the format, and what I did was the low vibe theme is the same format as the section before this one, which was I get a little bit of a download while I'm thinking of, I wonder what my next program is going to be. Oh, you know, it's going to be low vibe. So that's how that one worked for this, and then we're going to incorporate the oracle card later on. You'll see. It'll all fall into place. I am. So on this journey, you're going to figure out who I am while maybe figuring out who you are in the process. So just go back to video number 1. But whatever point along the way that you can't resist and you can't hold out anymore, go to the pilot video, then come back, and I'll see you back over here. So, you know, I have a pretty strong history with low vibe, and you know, I've been thinking maybe this whole video series is like over your head. Could be. And low vibe would be like kind of a way that I could describe myself. Could be way over your head. But I'll tell you one thing for sure. You won't be able to get it past your heart because that's what it's here for in a lot of segments of my life. And you'll see a metaphor for that. You're going to see a comparison with my whole video program because to expand, to discover you, to love you. That's also happening in some of my previous videos, so it's important that that's part of the understanding and the overstanding of how my program works, is you won't be able to get it past your heart, because that's what it's here for your heart, to expand. Works is you're going to see a progression from the old ray of sunshine to the new ray of sunshine. There's a whole array of rays of sunshine, and to discover you, shine, and they're there for that reason, to show you that progression, the evolution, the process that we're in. To love you. Hey, did somebody hand you this on a silver platter? That's the idea. That's the idea. Show you the unfolding, the blossoming. So, you know, low vibe, I had for your heart. That's the idea. You know what I want? I want to become more popular than the Pope. And the reason for that is because if I'm more popular than the Pope, that means I have a lot of people who want me. And I want all of them, just like I want you. I had a lot of, and I still do, although I don't associate with them, but I had a lot of low vibe relatives, you know, people that were somehow connected to me by a blood connection. And I'm talking about low vibe. You. So, the way to accomplish that is for you to share this video with some character who otherwise might not have the opportunity. And most of those I don't associate with anymore. It no longer resonates with me, but it resonated back then. I had low vibe parents, and you know it wasn't their fault. There was a brand newness about it. That's something that they were born into, and it's the same. You know, it's the same. The thing about that brand new since everyone we're always is that indefinitely. It's been like the thing about parenting, you know, and that's the same thing for parents. We become that way too. That's just the way you absorb. That's just the way the process was set up. So we are always as children, as the offspring, we are the experiment. It's not like they did. This video series has been an experiment for me. I speak about that in some of my other earlier videos, but you know, we're brand new since there have been people walking on the planet. But it has its value. And the thing is, I feel that I have my value as well. You know, I have important insight to share. So, from those that came before you. So, share. The way I ended up doing this YouTube channel is doing something different to discover something different. And from those which experiment, it's not like they did it hundreds or thousands of times. And that's here's our chance to unite. Here's our chance to come together. Here's our chance to create the world of our dreams. And now we're in a period of enlightenment, a period of seeing things a little bit differently than we did at one time, you know? And look at me now. More importantly, look at me then. Go check me out in one of those earlier videos. Watch where you come in progression and choosing to focus on what it is that we'd like to create. Focus on what makes our heart dance. Focus on what makes us happy, because there's no such thing as too much happy. So why not contribute toward it? But by deliberately focusing on what we want to create, come in, is to give somebody else the chance to discover something different. You know, that reminds me. There was a time I had and I spoke about this. I repeat a lot of things on a lot of my videos. So I spoke about this story about my catering business that I had at one time on some of the previous videos, Epicurean Adventures, to deliberately create the world as we would choose to design it. I remember one time I did a banquet. It was a wedding. There were like 100-some people. I did the cake and everything, right? Frosting in between, chocolate cake with cream, whipped. Anyway, and they had an elaborate meal. I think it was a choice of the baked stuffed fish au gratin, or the, what was that? It's a piece of, what's that called? It's a piece of, anyway, whatever that is. I'll think of the name of it. And some goose liver. You probably heard the story about the penny before. This penny that somehow ends up in a piece of fillet inside a crust. Ends up in a bank, and then it becomes 2 pennies. And with compound interest, it becomes 4 and 8 and 16 and 32 and on and on and on. what's it called?
On and on until it becomes millions and millions and millions. Well, that's the same way I envisioned this system working here. So
whatever it's called. Anyway, they had a choice of that. So it was an elaborate spread, right?
So, and that's where you come in. If you share this video with some character or some characters and they do the same thing, it'll work like that compound interest on that penny. Get it?
And when the whole thing was done, and the last...
This is what I look like, by the way, when I'm waiting for a car to pull out of the driveway, so I stop the video, and I don't realize it's still running. Check this out.
And the last dish was put away. I collapsed in the recliner, and I remember thinking, you know what? I've been through this before. I went through this entire process of this, the whole thing, from creating from...
It's playtime. Create you.
At all, I saw myself as worthless, unlovable. From meeting with the unlovable, in explicit detail,
the bride and groom to plan it, from doing
this event in my mind. From meeting with the bride and groom to plan it, from doing making the shopping list, going shopping, doing
right through cleaning up.
It all
before
happened
it ever occurred.
Exactly the way that it turned out. From making the shopping list, going shopping, doing the prep, it all happened right here. The whole thing, from creating the shopping, doing the prep,
right through cleaning up.
It all happened right here. That was a big realization for me. Exactly the way that it turned out.
You'll see a transformation in me and in you.
That was a big realization for me. So I had low vibe parents. I was low vibe for a long time. Although, I was relatively successful, relatively happy, so I thought. And one day, a tragedy occurred. There were several tragedies, just like in your life, several tragedies, but this one here really took me by surprise. I didn't see this one coming, and it changed my life dramatically. And it's the reason that I'm here with you right now on this video, sharing my experience.
So,
because
I didn't see myself as royalty at all.
That's why we're here, to learn loving and love living. And that's what I'm here to show you, my experience.
And I realized that
I had, through a result of that trauma.
Send this video to some characters, and
deep down, the missing ingredient, the one missing ingredient I've been missing,
and let's make happy happen,
is the desire, the dream, the motivation in my life, that main event that changed the course for a long time.
That's what this new energy is all about, this shift.
In order to bring enormous blessings into my life. I didn't always see it that way. And there's lots of stories about that in all my previous videos.
It's about time to blossom.
I didn't love me. I hated me. Like everyone else hated me. And that they're there for you to take advantage of. So what I recommend is, there'll be boxes on the side of my head at the end of this video. I'll pick out some good ones and go check out, especially one of them is probably going to be a recent one, and one of them is going to be an older one, and that was my existence. Depression, despair, because I have dozens of videos that I made that are all just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, waiting for you to click. So there's going to be an older one too, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to see one of the arrays of all the rays of sunshine back there, but you're going to notice something remarkable. Hey, if somebody sent you this video, I think you could learn from their wisdom. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You could hear me say that in many different ways in my many earlier videos. And you know what? In a year from now, I'm still going to say the same thing. I'm going to say, hey, go see that ray of sunshine a year ago. And go see that ray of sunshine 2 years ago, right? And you're going to see it, but you're going to see it right now. Believe me. And another thing that I say in many different ways is, the purpose of this whole video series. Let me simplify it for you so you'll only have two things to remember. One, I forgot. Let me simplify it for you so you'll only have two things to remember that way. One thing would be, go back there and see if you find something of value, like a hidden treasure, for example. And if you do, share this video. Don't forget now, we all need to be on the same page. I was share this video. I had a lot of low vibe stuff going on in my life too, stuff that I had absorbed from my environment. And I feel like I'm going bonkers because I want to explode. The outside of me right now is designed to reflect the inside of me right now. However, the inside of me right now is really jumping up and down and wanting to explode and burst. So, I have to control myself and learn to take the baby steps, because I have all the way up to the Z's. One of them was cigarette smoking. I smoked cigarettes for 50 years, and I quit several times. And then I decided, what? That's it. I was born to be a smoker. And you know how addictions are, right? Anything will do. But, I don't know if you're familiar with the way this program is set up, but this whole alphabet thing, this A through Z, represents eternity. The purpose of the video is to show our progression from the old world to the new world. And so everything that comes prior to, like around now, it represents the old world energy, and what's coming up from now to the Z's is the new world energy. And but smoking was the tough one, because I've had lots of addictions, but that was a tough one. In fact, when I had to go for smoking class. I've done a lot of things over the years, acupuncture, I've done them all. So this attempt was to go to a smoking class, and I had done that before on a couple of different occasions. But this time here, I decided there was a 7-class session, and then so class 7 comes along, and the instructor says, "So, it's nice meeting you all, and I'm so glad that you're all smoke free, and have a happy life, and blah blah blah." And I'm thinking, I'm not smoke free. I'm not even nowhere near smoke free. And so I signed up for another class, and finally, I think it was by the end of class 7. I finally that was a couple of years ago. I finally entirely gave it up. We've been starved since our inception on this earth. Starved of the light, living in darkness. There was another time too, a long time, many years ago, I went for hypnosis, and there was a whole big class. This was like at a Marriott or something. There was a whole big room full of people, right? So at the end of the session, the guy saying, "Okay, now everybody stand up and take." The darkness had spurts of light here and there, but now we're heading to a big burst. Stand up and take all the stuff out of your pocket. Take out your cigarettes and your lighters and your matches and all your smoking paraphernalia and anything that has anything to do with smoking, because that's no longer a part of your life, right? Everybody take a deep breath, a clean, fresh breath, right? And so be on your way and have a happy life, a happy smoke-free life. And I'm looking at him, and then everybody, and I'm just sitting there. Everybody, I didn't take the stuff out of my pockets. Everybody's walking out, and there's me and this other woman down the other end, and we just kind of glance over at each other and look around at all these chairs that are loaded with packs of cigarettes and lighters and all this. And I went around filling my pockets, right? Oh. One way to look at it could be that every one of those previous Ray of Sunshine videos and went out and had a cigarette. That's all I had on my mind the entire time I was in there. I needed to have a cigarette. Anyway, so I got that. I got a lot of stories like that in a lot of my previous videos. So this is what we're going to do, right? Because as you know, I don't like to make my videos too long. I like to keep you interested, not put you to sleep. So this is what we're going to do. I was a tarot card reader for almost 30 years. What happened was I was intrigued with tarot, as I was with many of the oracles and all kinds of divination, and so somebody bought me a set, the unmotivated, uninspired, the mythic tarot, which I still have, and it's the one that I use. Suicidal. In fact, this entire time I've used one deck. Imagine that. I like it. Why change? Every time I bought a house, bought a car, any of that kind of stuff, the first one I looked at. That's it. That's the one I want. Load it up. I'll take it. Give me the key, whatever. My tarot deck. It sat on the shelf for many years. I didn't have the confidence. I said, I don't, how did they do that? So finally one day I gave it a try. I picked up the book. I'd sit somebody down. I did it for myself first, and I'd sit somebody down and say, here, I'm going to give you a reading. Hope you don't mind. I'll be reading out of the book. And that's what I did. I did the whole spread. I read the whole thing for every single card, right? Then eventually I started saying, you know what? These cards are saying something to me. And so I'd put the book down, and I'd kind of look at the cards, and I'd get these messages, and people would say, how did you know that? How'd you know that? And so, and one thing I discovered about the cards is the cards don't lie. So I'm very fond of tarot card. I have a lot of tarot card reader friends online, several of whom I have had private interaction with over the course of the years. And anyway, I find them, but you have to be careful. You have to be discerning when you're looking at a general reading like that. Some things are not going to apply to you, but it provides me with enormous insight. So anyway, I shuffled these up before I hit record. And then, this was the routine, well, you can't see it, but this was the routine I did, which many of the tarot card readers do, before laying out the cards, divide it into 3 piles, and then pick the piles. There's lots of different formats we could choose. We could look at the bottom card, we could pick, dish out the top card, we could just open it up. I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to open it up and look at it. What's it say? I don't get it. Must be because Mercury's retrograde. When I pulled this pack out of the little packet earlier, this one here was on the bottom, so I read it. Sage your space. I said, you know what? If there's one card that I don't want to get when I pull this thing, it's going to be that one. But see how that works? What you focus on is what you create. Do you see how that works? Sage your space. So, personally, I don't use sage. One joint, let me start by explaining the title of the video. It's the shortened version of one joint effort, which is really the main theme of why you're here today. I have sage. I have beautiful ornamental sage in my sanctuary, and you may have seen some of that if you've been on a tour of my sanctuary. My videos number 1 and 2, there's a complete tour. Right now it's still free. A tour. One joint effort. You're part of the one joint effort. And so my overall theme generally is all of us coming together on the same page. So I talk about all a lot. And today I'm going to be talking about one joint effort. And I was thinking, in some of my earlier videos where I repeat a lot of the same things over and over, I talk about the concept of all, and that you really can't define all any further than, it's kind of self-explanatory, all. What else is there to say? A tour of my sanctuary, you'll see a lot of my precious possessions, many of which are hanging on the wall, and you'll meet a lot of special people in my life. And anyway, you'll also see a transition. You're going to see a change from that ray of sunshine to this ray of sunshine. The purpose of me doing the same sequence back then is to show you the difference between that ray of sunshine and this ray of sunshine, which is kind of like the format of my entire program, which I kind of repeat on every single one of my videos, but it's important because it illustrates the progression of where we are as a civilization, of where we are on this planet during this exciting time, of where we are as a civilization on this planet during this exciting time, the most exciting time to be alive. The most exciting time to be alive. My series is, you may know if you've been with me before, expect the unexpected.
Did somebody have the bright idea of sending you this video?
Go check it out prior to this one, because now we're in let me see, HIJKLLKL. One thing, maybe I'll put one of those in the box on the side of my head. M, we're in the M's, M2 right now, right? And that's the point of my whole presentation. Create you.
Because, well, you know how the bunny rabbits are, right?
It's playtime. Create you.